Hey friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we are sewing the Miami wrap top. Here it is. It looks awesome. I love it. And this format is a little bit different. We've done this a couple times. It's just our sew along that we do on our Facebook page. If you're not part of our Facebook page, come join us. The link's below. So the way that this sew along works is we do a little bit each and every day, and we sew our top over a period of a whole week. We have prizes, giveaways, and it's just fun to do it at the same time. So with that being said, because it's a sew along that was already done, the prizes have already been given out and everything like that, but we just posted it here on YouTube for your view and pleasure, so you can see how we do our sew alongs and how we sew up this awesome top. There's so many options. Look at this wonderful sleeve, or just regular plain sleeve, or ruffle sleeves. There's just different options, and all those we covered that information on our sew along, so it's just a little bit different than our tutorial outline. So I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know how you like it. Please come join us on Facebook so you can see all the inspiration and all the things that people are sewing, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy this sew along. Bye. Hey friends, it's Deanna here, and today we are going to start our Miami wrap top sew along, and I'm really excited because this is a party top. If there was one, this is a good top. This is so fun, and I am all about fun clothing. So I am going with the bell sleeves with all the bells and whistles. I am going to do the Peplum top. And so I kind of wanted to do the hardest one just so I can help you out through it in case you have any questions. But I will also talk about the other kind of sleeves and everything like that, just so we can do it together. The first thing I am going to do is I'm going to explain to you how this works. I know some of you have already joined our sew alongs before, but some of you, this might be your first time. So welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you could join us. So what we do at a sew along is every day I will post a video just like this one where I will explain the steps for the day. So like today we're doing assembling our pattern and cutting our fabric. So we'll do a little video showing you some tricks and tips and stuff like that. And then underneath this video I will post a picture of my finished cutout, my finished steps for this day, and then you will go ahead and post your picture underneath it, and that's how you will be entered to earn our giveaway at the end of the week. So every day we'll do some steps, and then at the end of the week we'll give a giveaway. So that's how this works. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So today I am cutting my fabric. The hardest thing to do on this top is two things. There's two things. Number one, choose your fabric. That is so hard for me. I never know what fabric I'm gonna use. Number two, unless sometimes fabric speaks to me. I don't know if this happens to you, but every once in a while I'll see some fabric and I'm like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with that one. This wasn't the case. Anyhow, so figuring out your fabric first of all, and then second of all, figuring out what version you want to do. You know, there's crop top, there's peplum top, there's the short sleeve, regular sleeve, there's the peasant sleeve that has a little gathering at the arm, there's flounce sleeve, and then there's the exaggerated bell sleeve. So that's the one I'm going for. So it just depends on which one you want to do, so you have to pick which one you want to do first. After you pick which one you want to do, then comes the cutting. You will have to do for most of everything. Let me do this first, and then I'll turn you down and show you. This pattern is drafted for a side waist measurement of 8 inches. I'm going to show you how you can find out what your side waist measurement is. What I did is I tied a string at my upper bust, right below my armpits, and then I'd ride one at my natural waist right here, and we measure from the top to the second line, and that's 9 inches. I'm a 9-inch, and so it's a whole inch longer than what it's drafted for. So I can take these silly strings off. Oh, silly strings. They're not really silly strings, but they look a little silly. What I will do is, and I'm going to show you now. Here we go. So here's my pattern piece. It's my top and my bodice. This is the peplum because I am doing the peplum, but there's also a piece for your if you wanted to do the crop top, and it's also got the line. I'm sorry about my messy pattern. My son spilled some water on it, but anyway, here's the line. So it comes with a line, and it says, you know, this is drafted for an 8. So what you would do is you would cut right at the line. If your waist is above an 8 inches, If your waist is 8 inches, then you don't have to do anything. You just cut around. You don't have to cut up your pattern. But since my waist is 9 inches, I'm going to add that extra inch right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure an inch. Let me get a ruler. I'm going to measure an inch. And that's how far apart I'm going to put my pattern pieces. And then I'm going to, when I go to cut, I'm going to cut around that. So I have that inch right here. If my waist is smaller, then I'm going to subtract. So I will cut off whatever it is, that an inch shorter, whatever it is. So you add or subtract whatever it is, and you will do that to the front, and you also will do it to the back. You got to do it to the back. Now in the back, again, also the back has got the cut line if you're doing the peplum or if you're doing the crop top. I folded it because I'm doing the peplum. So I folded it, so when I cut it, I'm going to cut it at the fold. Let me show you. I'm trying to show you all the different things so we can move on to cutting. Another thing is, if you're doing flounce sleeves come on the double fold. Fold and fold, 2 folds. So I'm going to show you real quickly how to do that. Even though I'm not making the flounce sleeves, I still want to show you how to cut them, so that way they can be, double folds can be a little tricky. So I grabbed my fabric and I made 1 fold. So whenever your fabric tells you to cut it on the fold, it just means you're gonna fold it, and here's the fold right here, my fold. Here's my 2 edges, here's my fold. So anyway, this one, so I found 1 fold. There it is, okay? As you can see, now there's 1 fold, but right here, it's 2 edges, so that's not a fold. Oh, my camera is falling down. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you, try not to show you all my mess behind the scenes. So I've got it right here on the 1 fold. So now I'm gonna fold it again to make another fold. Now I have a fold right here as well. So if you measure it, there's 2 folds right here really, but it's just a fold and then a fold. Then I'm gonna pin and cut around it, and you'll give me like a whole circle. It's like a little mini circle skirt. So that's how you do the double fold. Now I'm not gonna cut it because I don't want to waste my fabric, but I just wanted to show you how to do it if you're doing the flounce sleeve. Okay, for the regular sleeve that I'm doing, I am doing the Miami sleeve. Where did I put my sleeve? Can you tell me where I put my sleeve? I know the fan found it. Fan is blowing, everything's going everywhere. Okay, so for my sleeve, here's the fold. So I just have to cut it on the fold. And it stinks that I have to turn it upside down because I'm starting from this side. Because I'm folding my fabric from this side. If I was folding it from this side, then I wouldn't have to do it upside down. But I'm going to show you. So it's on the fold, and you have to cut 2 for each layer. Okay? So you're going to cut, 4 for each layer, because we're going to put them on top of each other. So like 1 in here and 1 in the back, that's 2. 1 in here and 1 in the back, that's 2. And it's only on the fold, it's not double fold. So it's just 1 fold. So we're going to start with the longer one. And what I'm going to do is, since the longer one, I'm going to fold this little piece of paper right here. That way I don't have to print this 3 times. I'm just going to fold it at the line where the cut is, okay? And I'm going to put it on my fold right there. My fold. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'll show you this cut. That way, I try not to show you all of them because I don't want you to be like, okay, I get it. I don't want to see you cutting every little thing. But I want to try to show you some of it. Alright. So there's my 1/2, and I have to do this twice because this is going to be the front of the sleeve. Oh, this is falling down. Sorry, guys. This is going to be the front of the top sleeve, the top, and then you're going to have another one on the back. So you're going to do 2 of these. Well, actually 4 of them because you need 2 on the one arm and 2 on the other one. So there's that. So after you cut the 2 of them, let me go ahead and cut the next one. So that way I can show you what I do after that. Here's my fold. Take that magnet out of the way.
you have a bunch of stuff in your sewing room, sometimes I'm like, how do I accumulate so much stuff? There's patterns everywhere, there's scissors, there's pins, there's everything. It's like, I'm like, every time I'm like, okay, after this project, I'm gonna clean everything up. I'm gonna have it all nice and neat. Does that happen? No. All right, so now I've got my 2 of my top one. So you can see, because I'm gonna put them right down on top of each other when I put them on. So now for the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut to the next layer. When you do this pattern again, what I'll do is I'll save all these layers. And then if I'm gonna cut another one, another sleeve like this, I'll just tape this back on or put it right on top when we're cutting it. So now I'm gonna do the same thing for the smaller sleeve. Okay, so I already cut 2 of the bigger sleeve, so I know I have to cut 4, so I only cut 2. So I'm gonna have to attach that back, put it back on, and cut the other ones. But here's I'm gonna show you, here's my next sleeve. Make sure that you've got, I'm probably not doing the best job right now at conserving my fabric, but I'm just trying to get it cut and show you. Okay, here's my next one. And we're gonna cut 4 of these. Here's one. And then obviously I'm gonna cut 2 more. Sorry, 3 more if I do my math right. And then I'm gonna cut it again. And now I'm gonna open it up to go straight because that's my last one. And I'm gonna cut another one of these. 4 of these. I'm just cutting one right now to show you, but I promise I will go cut my other ones. I'm trying to use as little fabric as possible so that way I have enough for all the sleeves. Don't want to end up with one sleeve one color and the other one a different color. I think I have enough if I did the math right. Oh, I went too far off the screen, huh? Alright, and here's my last one. My last version of the sleeve, but not my last sleeve because I still have to cut the other ones that go with it. But that's just how I cut my sleeves. Alright, so there's my last layer. So I gotta cut 3 more of those. And I think that is it. Now on your sleeve too, remember what sleeve you're gonna cut, what sleeve you want to work with. So you need to make sure if you want the sleeve to be longer or shorter, this is where you're gonna add some length to it to see how long you want it on your arm. Bell sleeve, I'm going with bell sleeve, so I'm cutting down here. But if you're going short sleeve, whatever. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to give you today. Just if you have any questions on how to cut any of this other stuff, I try to cut a little bit of everything, so that way if you had questions on it, I could give you that information. But anyway, so I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions of anything I did or did not do. Post it below. I'm gonna post my picture below as well. I'm in and out today. I have a lot going on, so I might not be able to check in until a little bit later at night. So that's okay if for some reason you have questions and I didn't get to answer them. Maybe somebody else can help, and if not, then it's okay if you don't post it today. You can post it a little bit later. But hopefully I'll be in and out, so I'll be able to answer a lot of questions. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And that is it. I can't wait to get started tomorrow. We'll do some actual sewing, and we'll take it slow. And then by the end of the week, we'll have an awesome top. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey friends, it's Deanna here, and we're ready for day number 2 of our sew along, the Miami top. And today is when we actually get to sewing. So we'll do a little bit of sewing today. And I'm sorry I was a little bit MIA tomorrow after I posted my video. We had a long day, and so I am going to try to get back to you on some of those questions that you had. And today I'll be going, if I don't answer someone here, I'll be going back and looking over them and helping out in some ways any way I can.
So first of all, let me tell you what we're gonna do today, and then I'll go back to some of the questions. So today we're grabbing our bodice, our outer and our liner. I'm doing it to the outer first. Right now, I'm sorry, I already did it to my liner, so I'm doing it to the outer. You're gonna do it to your liner as well. We're gonna sew our shoulders on. So here's my front and here's my back, and we're gonna put them right sides together, and you gotta match. See right here where my arm, well, I guess this would be my arm side, is right here. You gotta match them together because you don't want this to be on the other side where it doesn't match. So that's our shoulder seam right there. So we're gonna pin that. That's where we're gonna sew right there. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So they should match perfectly. If they don't match perfectly, then you put it on the wrong side. And then we're going to sew them together. Now, one of the questions that you asked was, how come on the South Shore romper, I'm wearing it right now, there is no liner and there is a liner on this one? I think it's just a fit thing. There's also on the South Shore romper, you see there's band. There's a band on this one. There's not. It's just different fit. Not really so much the fit, but just like a different feel and stuff like that. Also, the straps are encased on the, these straps, the side straps will be encased on your top. So I think it's just also for reinforcement of the fabric, so it's not flimsy right there. There is a step where if you want to put snaps on, and the snaps are kind of on the inside. So I think that that's another reason why it's just a double layer of having that extra and the different look. It's not a banded look, it's more of a dressy look. But if you wanted to do bands like South Shore romper, go ahead, try it out. I'm all for it, whatever you want to do. So if you're not gonna do it lined, you will have to do the band at the neckline. And then when we're sewing these straps on, which I'll show you in a minute, you'll have to sew them onto the outer, and which that's what we're doing. But you'll have to right here in the front, because we sew them on the front, you'll have to sandwich it between the actual band that you put on and the top. So what you'll have to do is, let's see, will it sandwich in there? I'm trying to think if that will even work. I don't even know. I have to look once I do it and see if it's gonna even work. I'm not gonna do it with the band, I'm doing it with the liner. So I don't know how that will even work. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But I think that was part of the design. The ties are sandwiched between. So like this one is just, the South Shore romper tie is just something that goes on. As you can see, it's just, it's not attached anywhere. But this one is attached at the fronts right here. So when it will tie around, it comes from the inside. So it's sandwiched like this, front, liner and front. And here's my tie. And it's sandwiched between both of them. So it comes out right in between them like this, like so, okay? So with a band, if you do it this way, the band will actually stand out. So I don't know how that will work. The band will be like on top like this. It might work. Give me some opinions on the comments. I'm not sure. I have never done that, so I don't really know. Give me opinions in the comment. Let me know what you're going to do. If I was going to do that, I'd probably do a mock-up bodice and do my my ties and stuff like that and see how it works out. You could also do it and then just have, just like with the South Shore romper, just an attached band and just kind of attach it a little bit on the sides. Really up to you. So now we're moving on, and what we're doing is we're gonna go ahead and sew the shoulders. What you can do is you can do a serger, you can do a stretch stitch. It's up to you, whatever you have. I'm doing a serger because that is what I have. And yesterday when we were doing the cutting, I told you that I thought I was gonna have enough fabric, and I probably did have enough fabric, but when I'm cutting with you guys, I get nervous and I start cutting different parts, and I don't think about how it's gonna best fit in my fabric. So, but that's okay, because what I ended up doing was I'm doing my strap a different color, and I'm doing those exaggerated bell sleeves, which do take up a lot of fabric. But my middle layer is going to be this burgundy color, which I think will be great. So it will be fine. All right, so do you see how I sewed up the shoulders? Shoulders are in.
And I think right here I kind of went off the edge a little bit, so I'm going to do it again just so it's straight. Let me show you what I did. I'll show you. I kind of was talking to you and I kind of went off the shoulder and I didn't catch both of them in there. So I just want to go back over it without a seam allowance so that way I can catch that in. Because it happens, folk. And I can fix it. And I'd rather fix it before I go on sewing. Okay, now it's attached. So anyway, now we're going to go ahead and grab our ties. And this is when the ties get sandwiched in here. If you're doing the peplum, you will have a long tie and a short. Before we put the ties on, what am I talking about? We got to make the tie. You'll have a long tie for the peplum and a short tie. I already made my long tie. I'm going to make my short tie. For the cropped version, you will have 2 long ones. So you can wrap that thing around and look so sexy. So I'm doing the small one because it takes a lot less time, but you will be doing the long one, obviously. So what I'm doing, I'm putting them right sides together. I'm sorry. This double brush poly is so hard to tell sometimes which one's the right side and which one's the wrong side until I have already folded it and I'm like, wrong side. Okay, right sides together. Add the raw edge, just like a hot dog bun. This one I cut with scissors, so that's why it looks all jaggedy. But I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna serge it anyways, so you won't be able to see all those jaggedy edges. And then we're gonna go ahead and sew that raw edge. Remember to try to get both of those fabrics in there. You're probably paying more attention than I am to your actual fabric, so yeah. I have a turning tool. Don't know where it is. My room is a mess right now. I've got pattern pieces and bell sleeves and stuff everywhere, so I'm just turning it manually. This will be the time that my husband will say, this is where you need to keep your room organized. This is what I say, mind your own business. This is not your room. But tell me, do you have a messy sewing room or is it very neat and organized? I am a little bit of both. I have certain things are very, very organized. Like my fabric, I like to keep my fabric organized because I want to see what I have. But then pattern pieces are all over the floor. Like if I was to swipe you around, you'd be like, how do you even know what is what? I'm so glad there's the name of the pattern piece on every pattern piece because I would lose it. And like tools, supplies. I'm steaming the strap flat. Tools, supplies. Now this is my cutting tables up here. You can kind of see the corner of it. No, you can't. Anyways, up there. And you saw it yesterday. And measuring tape, rotary cutter, tweezers, don't know why. They're on the table. Tape, glue sticks, random pieces of pattern, and all my waste fabric. Like all the little pieces. I am a hoarder when it comes to like fabric pieces, and I've become better at like throwing away fabric, but like my little pieces, I can't think of the name right now, scraps. But I'm still really bad. So like if it's a scrap like bigger than this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do something with it. I could do a pocket. I could do it. Why? I have so much. I have bins of scraps up there. Don't know why. Tell me, do you do that? Or do you just dump them all in the garbage and say, let's start over? Anyway, okay, strap is done. Sorry, very talkative today. And what we're going to do first is, if you're doing your peplum, we're only doing one side. We're only doing this to one side on the peplum. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your ruler. If I can find one. Ooh, I'm locked today. I put it back where it was supposed to be. And we're going to measure from the bottom. We're going to measure an inch up from the bottom. And I'm going to pin that right there to show me where it's at. So we're going to grab our long strap. This is the peplum, okay? You're going to grab your long strap and we're going to put it right at the edge. Right at the edge where we marked, 1 inch from the bottom. Now, I said this is the Peplum, but you're doing this exact same thing actually to the crop top. You're gonna put it right here, the long, well, you have 2 long ones. One right here, and then I'm gonna pin again just cause for reinforcement. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side for the cropped. For the crop top, you're gonna do the other strap, the other long strap. You're gonna go ahead and measure 1 inch from the bottom and put it right there. For the crop top. For the Peplum, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna put this little long, short strap over here to the side because we're gonna work on that later. But for the Peplum, for the crop top, you put one on here and the other one on the other side, okay? But for the crop top, you only put one on one side, okay? Got it? Got it? Got it. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and baste those on, because what we're going to do is we're going to put our liner right on top, and we're going to sandwich right here where that Peplum, that strap is. We're going to sandwich it together. So we're just putting it right on top, right sides together. And we're going all the way around the neck, okay? So I'm pinning right here. So it might help you if you wanted to baste that on. And now basting stitch is really just a long stitch that you can, after you're done sewing, you can just pull it right off. But it helps for when you're sewing it on, the fabric doesn't move out of the way and jump off, and then you're like, crowd, it didn't fit. So you can do that. I'm opening my bodice just straight out. This is my one side. This is where my strap is, right here. I'm gonna show you. And then I'm going all the way. Here's my shoulders, so I'm gonna match up those shoulder seams. I'm doing the lighter liner, even though I'm doing the burgundy trimmings, because this fabric has some light to it, and it's a little bit see-through. Not totally see-through, but a little bit, so I wanted more of my skin tone. Now, I wish my skin was this dark, but it's close enough. But yes, I just wanted to do, because if I did the burgundy, then I was afraid that it would be too dark and look kind of dingy on the outside. I didn't want to do that, so I'm like, okay, we'll go with a more skin tone look-alike. So now I'm matching the other shoulder seam, and here's my neck, my back of my neck. And yeah, so I'm just matching those raw edges. So yesterday what we did, we were so busy, we took some teens. My husband and I work with the teenagers at our church, local church, and we took them to the river yesterday, and that was really, really fun. That was so fun. But that is the reason why today's video is a little bit later, because I was slacking this morning. I was so tired. Got a little bit of sun. You probably can't tell because I put makeup over it, but I sprayed the heck out of my face. When I was younger, I liked to get really, really burned, but as I gotten older, I know I go to the water so often that even if I spray myself and try to cover up, I'll eventually get some sun, and I think the sun is a little bit rough for you, so I try to be careful more now than I did. And I was spraying all my kids yesterday, all my teens, and they're all like, Mrs. Austin. That's what they call me. They call me Mrs. Austin. They call me, well, some of them do, because I teach some of them, and some of them call me Miss Diana, so I mean, it just depends. Some of them call me Miss Diana, because some people will say my name that way, so it's just a bunch of things. But anyway, and I'm spraying them all over, but I'm like, you're not burning on my watch, you know? I'm such a mom. But it was so fun, so fun. We went to the Wiki Wachi Spring. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's in Florida, and so fun. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and sew along that edge. Now, if you've got the why do I keep forgetting this word? The crop top, you will have the strap on one side and the strap on the other side as well. So make sure when you're sewing over those spots where the straps are, if you did not baste, make sure you're catching the strap. Make sure the strap doesn't like jump in and then leave you hanging, because you know they try to do that sometimes. So now I'm going to do that, and this is our last step for today. This will be our last step for today. Again, you can do this with a stretch stitch on your sewing machine. I'm just using my serger just because that's what I'm comfortable with. I love my serger. What I do, the reason why I'm not moving my pins, I don't know if you're wondering that, is because I try to place my pins a little bit far away from my fabric, where the edge of my fabric, where they're just close enough that they will hold the fabric together, but far enough away that they will, I can just run the fabric through, and they're far enough away from the foot that I won't run them over. Now there's the occasional one that I have to move, but for the most part I try to do it that way. That way I don't have to move every pin and I'm sewing. I can't stop to move a pin. And sometimes I will not stop to move a pin. I'll just keep my pedal to the, what is it, pedal to the middle? Pedal to the floor. I don't know how to say that, but anyway. And then that's when I end up messing up because I'm like trying to go real fast. Sometimes I get a little crazy when it comes to sewing. I love it. Alright, here I am at my strap. I want to take it slow because I want my strap to get in there. Perfection. Or so I think. I'm going to open it and it's going to be like, eh. So you thought, no, I was right. I did it right. Took my time and it paid off. Alright, I know this is a little bit of a longer video than usual. I've been kind of really chatterbox today. Sorry. So here we are, and here is my strap. You see how it's in there? So if you're doing the, what do you call it, banded option, I'm trying to think, if I put a band right here, then the strap wouldn't be in there. How would you do that? If you did a little band? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Tell me about it. If you have an idea, let me know. I am completely and utterly lost. I have to see it, and I'm not seeing it right now. Okay, I'm just steaming this down where I did this right here, and if you want to, you can top stitch the edge all around it if you want to. I probably won't, because I do not like the top stitched look on a dressy garment. I like the top stitch look on like a hoodie or a t-shirt maybe, but not on something dressy. But here it is. Here's my front. Ooh, oh my gosh, this is gonna be beautiful. Okay, so here's my strap. If you have your, if you're doing a, again, I forgot the word, crop top, your other strap will be hanging out right here, which means that then you will kind of wrap it around and the other one will wrap around, and that's how you do the wrap around look, and it looks like cool. But anyway, tomorrow we'll move on to do the next step. I'll show you how to put the other strap on the back for your peplum makers, because that's what I'm making, and we'll also talk about putting some little snaps, garment snap ins, secures, I don't know what these things are called, but those little things on, so that you're in case you don't want this thing to flap open. So yeah, so we'll talk about that, and we'll do a couple more steps. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place this on the floor and take a picture of it and post it below. You go ahead and post your picture below as well of day number 2, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. Now question me, please, 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 please post some questions below. I am doing a lot today again. I feel like my summer, I always say I'm gonna do a lot of sewing, and then I end up having a lot of other things to do, like grocery shopping, yuck. And so, but I'll be in and out today. I'm not gonna be out in the river where I have no signal. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. My watch went dead. I knew I was messing up somewhere. So I'm back because when I sewed this strap together, the long strap, I forgot to tell you that you're also supposed to sew the one side. Because then I was looking at my strap, I'm like, wait a minute, it's not finished. And I realized that I didn't show it to you right. So you start and you sew the one side. I'd already even turned my machine off. And then, so you sew the side, the one short side, and then out. Because that way when you turn it, you'll have one finished edge. what I'm gonna do with my other one, what I'll do is I'll fold it in. Wait, I'll show you when I turn it. I'll fold it in and then I'll use the same color thread and I'll just sew it because I don't want to take it apart. This is why you have to like do a sew along and take it slowly so that like I make all the mistakes and then you just laugh at me while I make the mistakes and then you actually do it correctly. Okay, so here's my one strap, which will be done right. And then the other strap, what I'll do is I'll fold it in and then with the same color thread, I'll give it a little sew up right there. Or I'll probably, actually knowing me because I'm lazy, I might just do like some of this stitch thing, steam a seam thing, and just put it in there and sew it and iron it shut. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to give you that because I don't want you to not do it correctly and then be like, oh my gosh, she's so stupid. I'm sorry. Okay, all right, well, again, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hi friends, it's Diana here and welcome to day numero 3 of our sew along. And so today we're going to put our other strap, if you're doing the peplum, or short strap, and then we're going to put our rest of our bodice together and do our little snappity things for the side of our bodice if you're doing that. So I just wanted to mention, I know that I had a couple people ask me and say something about they wish that the video was all together and that we just went all at one pace. The purpose of our sew along is so that we can do it together little by little and to keep accountability of doing it little by little. But if you do, and I understand sometimes we like to do a project and just get it done and over with and it'll be fun to be like, it's so rewarding to get it all done at once and you're like, oh yeah, you know. I encourage you to look at our Facebook, our YouTube page. We have tons of tutorials on there and they're all in one spot at one time. And so that's really great because you get to do it all at once if that's what you want to do. I will upload this sew along to our YouTube account as well. So you'll have access to it so you can see it on there and be able to do it all at once if that's something that you wanted to do. But I just enjoy sometimes doing the little sew alongs where we do a little bit at a time and we keep accountability, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm trying to think if there were any other questions that I got on from yesterday. I think that was all the questions from yesterday. I hope everything I said was self-explanatory. I'll go look again at the messages. Sometimes I don't see all of them until I come back in and check every single one. It's really weird. I don't know. I guess it's Facebook settings. I don't know. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So remember yesterday we did that one long strap, and if you are making the short version, you already put in your other strap on the other side as well. So this does not include you if you're making the crop top. But if you're doing the peplum, this is the step that you're gonna follow next, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're going to turn it to the back, okay? And let's move the liner out of the way as well. See the liner right here? Let's move it out of the way. And we're gonna sandwich my short strap, here's my short strap, an inch from the bottom. Let's see my ruler. I have a million of these, so that's good. An inch from the bottom. And we're gonna put that strap right there on the right side of the back of our the outer layer, okay? And I'm doing it opposite. So see how this is my short strap is on one side, my long strap is on the other side, okay? Because it'll be on the other side. Here's the front layer. So now we're gonna grab that front. This is the front, the other front. I'm gonna put it right on top of that. So like the liner's out of the way. You can see it. The liner's out of the way. The liner of the back is also out of the way. And so this is my side seam right here. Get that liner out of the way. Side seam. And now I'm going to grab the other side seam right here of the front. And I'm placing it right on top of it. So we're just sandwiching that strap right there. on the other side. So we're just basically just putting it on the other side. If you're doing the peplum, they're both right here in the front. If you're doing the other one, I say the other one, you know, one's gonna come out on the one side and the other one's gonna come out on the side right here, okay? That makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin this. This bracelet's like wide open, it's trying to come off my arm. Usually I don't get bothered by them, and then sometimes they do weird things. What are you doing? Whew. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and sew up that seam. You can do stretch stitch, serger. I'm just doing my serger, making sure that my liner is out of the way. Out of the way. And making sure my stuff is sandwiched between those two layers. If it's easier for you, you can always baste that thing on first. That strap, that thing on. I don't know why sometimes I forget the names of things like that. I don't know. So now I'm gonna open it, and here's my strap. Finished up. See that? Right there. You can go ahead and seam that seam. I'm excited. I actually really love the burgundy pop with it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put some interfacing on here for when we're doing the snaps. Okay, so here's the interfacing. Okay, we're gonna open it up out of the way. All right, so here's my back. And here's my interfacing is gonna go first. Where am I putting the first interfacing? I'm sorry, I looked it up already and I wrote it on my paper, but I forgot what I wrote. I know where the other one is, but I can't remember where the first one goes. The first one goes, there we go. Here is the longer strap. Here's my encasement of my longer strap. We're gonna put it right here. See my long strap? Here's my front where it wraps like this. Here's my side seam right here. See my side seam right here? My arm side, my side seam, my front. My long strap that's right here in the front. We're gonna put that one. We're gonna open it up. And we're gonna put it in the back of the liner, okay? So here's the back of the liner. And that's what we're doing it on. I hope that wasn't confusing. Here's my front, where my long strap is on the front, right here. I'm putting just down, face down. Here's my liner. Okay, I'm folding that liner up, like so. And on the back of the liner, that's where I'm gonna put my first interfacing little square, okay? And I'm putting it 1 inch from the bottom and 1/4 inch from the side. Let me make sure that that's, yeah, 1 inch from the bottom and 1/4 seam from the side. I always like to look at my laptop right here with my tutorial just to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. It's easy for me to forget. All right, so there it is. There it is. Okay, so now the second little notch thingy is over here on my other side. I'm gonna look at it again to make sure I'm telling you the right spot because, yeah. So here's my short strap. You see my short strap right here? I'm gonna, and if you're looking at your bodice like this, here's my short strap, here's my bodice, here's my arm side, okay? We're gonna open it just like so. And when you open it, you see that the liners are not connected yet. We only connected the outer just now. So then we're gonna get this liner out of the way. I'm gonna move it up. Right here in this little corner, so the opposite side right here is where we're gonna put that interfacing, and we're gonna put it to the outer, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure 1 inch from the bottom And we're gonna put it right up to that seam. Right up to that seam. Because we already sewed that seam. You don't need a seam allowance on there. The other one, you need a seam allowance on there. That's why it's 1/4 inch away from it, because we're gonna sew that together. Does that make sense? This one already is sewn together, so you don't need a seam allowance right there. You just put that on there. Right there. All right, hope that makes sense. I put where I put them. Let me know if you didn't, and I'll try to explain it again. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and sew our liners together. Now, everything that we sew together, we always do it right sides together. That way, we don't see the serger tails. So we're gonna put, I'll put my back face up. This is my liner. Okay, so here's my liner. This is the top of my liner. Okay, these are my sides. Now I'm gonna grab those fronts. So we'll start with one first. And right there. And here's my other front. Right here. Okay. Now, when you're gonna put those two together, make sure you get other stuff out of the way. Get everything else out of the way. You don't want to sew your other stuff in the way. And you want to make sure that it is correct. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're doing the right side. See, like this is this side, so obviously it's going to go right here. You're not going to put this one over on the other side. So it's kind of, it's pretty, I think, easy to figure out, but it can get a little bit confusing sometimes when you're like, what is going on? Well, I hope it made sense, what I just showed you. I think sometimes when you're reading the pattern, you can't see the fabric very well, and you're like, where is it? You know, I get confused all the time when I look at the pattern, and then I read it and read it and read it, and all of a sudden it dings, and I'm like, oh, I was making it harder than it needed to be. So here's my other one. Here's my outer side. Here's my shoulder seam right here. So I'm just like kind of bringing that whole thing up here again on the side. And see right here we have a seam allowance where our interfacing is, so that when we sew it together, it'll be right at the seam, just like on the other side. How convenient. Obviously, if you're not putting the interfacing, if you're not going to do the little snaps, you don't need to put the interfacing. And the little snaps are for built-in security, so it'll stay shut. Here we go, I'm sewing those sides. That was one. I'm doing the other one. Make sure that everything else is out of the way. You're just sewing the liner. Right sides together. That is sewn together. We can take this off. And now our liner is sewn together. Now what do we have left? We have our outer right here to sew together, right? Because we sewed one side, but we didn't sew the other side. So these two outers are not sewn together. Now, to sew the outers together, you gotta remember that you always do right sides together, unless otherwise stated. You know, there are certain times that you do wrong sides together because you're going to be doing other things, I don't know. But most of the time you always do right sides together. But here is my side and my other side, and it's the only ones that are not sewn together. So just find two sides that are not sewn together, and the outer, and those will be it. Look, it's just my whole side right there. So now we're gonna sew those together. Pin and sew, and that is all that we're doing for today, except for if you're going to be, okay, let me sew this and I'll tell you. if you're doing snappity snaps, I'm just dropping pins everywhere, and you know, I might end up stepping in them later. I hope not. Okay, here it's our top all together. Now you can go ahead and steam down all those edges. Come on, strap. You can steam down all those edges. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay, you can steam down all those edges. And if you want to top stitch, you can top stitch if you didn't do it yesterday. This is up to you. But look at, we're almost done. If you're doing the wrap top, you are pretty much almost done. Because it will be like bleep, 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 bleep. Okay, we're doing sleeves tomorrow. Are we doing sleeves tomorrow? No, tomorrow we're doing the peplum bottom and finishing up the bottom if you're doing the crop top. And sleeves on Friday. That's what we're doing. So, okay, so this is it. If you're doing the snaps though, you're gonna open this up. This is my bodice. We're opening it up. And where you put the interfacing, see, you put the interfacing right here. This is where one of the snaps is gonna go. The front or the back. And then right here is where you put the other interfacing. See it right there? And that's where the other one's gonna go. Because that way when you close it shut, you buckle it right there. Click. See that? Click. Because the South Shore romper is sewn together at the edges, so it doesn't come open. This comes open. So you might want some reinforcement there so that, you know, like your strap doesn't come off and all of a sudden, hello world, here I am. So you might want it there. But I mean, if you like that, it's up to you. No judgment here. So it's up to you however you want to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and put these on. And I think I might do two, one right above and one right below it, just, you know. And if you, the interfacing, if you wanted to do more, if you're really concerned about it, if you wanted to do 3 or whatever, you can put longer interfacing. If you already put just a little bit of interface like I did, you can always open it up and put a little bit more higher up. It's up to you, really, because you can, if you want to put like more reinforcement on there. I think I'm just gonna put 2 on there and 2 on here, right at the, you know, that little interfacing thing, and that's it. That is all for today. I'm gonna put it on because this is what I like to do. Try on my vest. It's like a little vest right now. Look at how cool. So yeah, you want to make sure that it snaps right there, because if your strap accidentally comes undone, you don't want this to open up and you're sitting there naked. Well, I mean, I don't want it to open up and I'm sitting there naked. Look at that. How cute is this gonna be? I want to wrap it all the way around. Bring it over. Anyway, that's enough of that. You guys are probably tired of me. Alright, well, I'm going to take a picture of this and post it below. You take a picture of yours, post yours below. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything I did. And then tomorrow we'll move on to our next step. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your sewing or whatever it is that you're doing in this fine day. It's actually really nice outside. No, I lie. It's really nice outside right now because it looks nice because I'm inside the air conditioning, but it's blazing hot outside. It's been so hot the last couple of days. But that's okay. I like the heat. Anyway, all right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Hey friends, it's Deanna here, and today we are doing, we're finishing our bodice. Tomorrow we'll be doing our sleeves, but today we finished our bodice. So welcome to day number 4. Yay, almost there. Okay, so we did our bodice yesterday, where we finished attaching our straps and all our snaps and stuff like that. It is a little bit of a more low cut top, so if you wanna, there's a step on here. If you want to add more snaps to say up here to close up right here the gap a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. We'll probably wear something underneath mine. Also, just because I don't want it to blow open, and I don't know. But anyway, it really is up to you.
But yes, it is meant to be a little bit of a lower cut. So I think that some of you were asking about that, about the low cut, but that was the design of the pattern. But yes, there is an option if you want to right along this edge right here. You can add a snap or whatever to close it so that it stays a little bit more closed at the top. So that might be an option that we might want to take. Sorry, my throat is dry this morning. I don't know why. So anyhow, it's probably allergies. So today we're moving on to doing the peplum. Now, if you are not doing the peplum, all you are doing today is you're grabbing your bodice and your liner together at the bottom. Fold 1/2 inch in, 1/2 inch, steam, and hem. That's it. You're done with your bodice. That's all you're doing today. Fold in 1/2 inch, steam, and hem. You can do it with a double needle. You can do it with a zigzag stitch, stretch stitch on your sewing machine. You could do it with, if you have a cover stitch. It's up to you, whatever you want to do it with, but that you're done. So if that's what you're doing, if you're just doing the crop top, you're done. You can go ahead and take your picture and post it below. But the ones that are chose to be difficult and are working with the peplum, we've got a couple more steps to go. So here's my back, and I'm laying it all out. And here are my sides, one side, the other side. And I'm gonna put them right sides together on top of my back. And as you can tell, so let me show you. One side here will match up just correctly. But if you're gonna put the other side on, i.e. the wrong side, it will not match correctly. There is a little bit of a gap at the end. So if you're worried about which side is the correct side to put on, just make sure that it matches correctly, and that's the side that obviously goes to that side. So obviously this side matches correctly with this one, so it's gonna go right here. I know that sometimes we get, like our piece is confused, and we can be like, oh my goodness, where is this gonna go? So if it matches up correctly, as long as you cut it correctly, as long as I cut it correctly, that's gonna be the one. So we're meeting at raw edges, right sides together. Right sides together, and I'm gonna do the same for the other side. Raw edges, right sides together. This fabric is it's like a really thin knit. I think it's ITY, but I'm not really sure. I'm still like, you know how if you buy, well, this one, I guess I could look it up because I think I bought this one online. But if you buy things from the store, sometimes they have different names on them, and I don't really even understand. Okay, I'm serging this on. You can do a zigzag stitch on it as well. So yesterday, my serger light died. I don't understand what's going on with my serger light. It like comes on and off sometimes. I don't know if it's dying or I don't know if it's loose and I need to tighten it. If you know, if you think you know, please let me know. Help me out. But anyway, so it's a very flimsy fabric, but it's like it's got such awesome drape. Like I love the drape of it. I don't know that it's really that much harder to sew with than other things. Really, one of my favorite things to sew with is double brush poly because I feel like it sticks to each other so it doesn't flim away. One of my favorite things to wear is cotton lycra, but cotton lycra is a lot more expensive to me. Anyway, so yeah, so this has got like that nice flowy loose wear, you know, but when I sew with it, it's a little bit harder because it's so flimsy, but I love it. Okay, so now that we attach the two sides, look, it matches my lipstick. Now that we attach the two sides, we're gonna go ahead and hem. So we're gonna hem the sides first, 1/2 inch. I have my ruler here because, you know, some of you measure. I don't measure. I just eyeball my 1/2 inch. Probably not the best advice.
but that's what I do. I don't know why. I know why, I'm lazy. So 1/2 inch, and go ahead and hem the sides, and then we're gonna hem the bottom. Hem, hem, hem. So this hasn't been as hard as you thought, has it? It's been helpful. I don't know. To me, I think the videos help. Sometimes I get a little bit stuck and I have to reread the steps about 1,000,000 times. And having the video just kind of helps me to just go ahead and do it. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and fold the bottom hem as well, just so it's ready, so I can just go straight to my machine. I'm just folding it over, lapping right here. And I am going to be using a cover stitch. I got a cover stitch not super long ago, and it's just a basic brother sewing machine cover stitch, but it's done its job and it's done well. I couldn't afford a really nice expensive one. Honestly, half of my machines are things that I inherited from my grandmother-in-law. I inherited them a little while ago, and that's how I got started sewing a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's probably been 2 years now. I started in the summer a couple of years ago, so yeah, summertime now, so that's like 2 years. And she passed away, and her daughters decided, my mother-in-law and her sister, that they wanted to give me her stuff, and I was so honored by that, because that's just amazing. There was a lot of stuff, and so I started to sew. I've always been really interested in sewing. I've always loved design and done other things, just never really fully gone into sewing. So that gave me the opportunity to just go into sewing. So that's really awesome. Tell me how you got started. I sewed before a long time ago, like, you know, one of those plain elastic waistband skirts, you know, something like that when I was a teenager, but never did any major clothing projects. So this was great. My mother-in-law actually gave me my first sewing machine about probably 10 years ago. I'm gonna start dating myself now. Yes, I'm old. No, I guess, I shouldn't even say this. Probably about like 13 years ago, because it was one of our first married, when I got married, after I got married, one of my first Christmas presents from her. And so, anyway, she gave me my first sewing machine, and I did a few projects on it, but it ended up, I didn't have a space, I didn't have all the tools I needed. I didn't know about PDF patterns, so I was using those paper patterns, which are horrible, you know. Okay, I shouldn't say horrible, but I just cannot deal with them. And so she gave me that, and then once I inherited this, and I had a friend here that she kind of taught me about PDF patterns and showed me the world. I'm like, oh! And so I got started with that, and that was really amazing to me. All right, so I folded everything. I'm gonna go ahead and hem while I sit here and chat away. But anyway, and so then, yeah, that's how I got started. How did you get started? She showed me PDF patterns. We made a couple patterns, and then she had the audacity to move away from me. She moved away from me, and then I had to keep going on my own. I found Ellie and Matt, and seriously, it was like, I don't know, it was great. I've learned so much. So awesome. I love it. I love sewing. I love everything about it. I love the feeling of, oh my goodness, I made that. Alright, so now we're hemming. If you'd like to, I'm just going to finish up bubbling on. You can fast forward me. I guess I should have paused the video and pick it back up, but I didn't. So I'm just going to keep going. And I want to hear about you learn from your mom or your dad or another caregiver, or did you learn it with friends? Did you just YouTube it? I feel like YouTube is such an awesome thing now. You can find pretty much anything you want to learn on YouTube and just go ahead and get going. How did you get started? And then after you tell me how you got started, tell me, what do you enjoy sewing the most? Do you enjoy sewing like cotton, wovens? Do you enjoy sewing knits? Which is your favorite knit? I might have to expand my fabric world. I just pretty much use the same fabric always. I'm a double brush poly girl all the way, but I've been trying to use different fabrics, and I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised with some of the ones I've been using. When I sew for my son, most of the time I sew cotton lycra, just because I feel like it's a really good, really easy thing to wear for him. Oops. And so I usually do that. He'll come up to me and say, bring me fabric. When we're at the store, he'll bring me fabric and be like, Mom, can you make me something with this? I'm like, that's not the type of fabric I work with, dude. So I'm trying to like expand my fabric realm. All right, so now that I hemmed this, we can go ahead and move on to, what we're gonna do is we're going to gather, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm trimming these edges. We're going to gather our middle of the skirt. There we go. Trim, trim, trim. If you can hear all the nonsense going on out in the living room, my grandma is here and she is hanging out with my son. My son is making her watch some kind of show. I'm not even sure what they're watching, but it's like, it's just little kids show, but they're like going crazy. Anyway, so that's what that is. So I've got, here's my middle piece, and obviously it's longer than my front piece. My side pieces will match, so you do not have to gather your side pieces, but your middle piece you do have to gather. So how I'm gonna gather, I'm just doing a long stitch on my sewing machine, like a basting stitch. And this is one sewing machine that I inherited, so it's like a really nice sewing machine. And I haven't even figured all of it out that is on it. But anyway, a long stretch stitch. A long straight stitch, like a basting stitch. And since it's just a short piece of fabric, I'm not really gathering like a bunch. So I feel like this will do the trick. If you have other methods of gathering, by all means use your methods. And then I'm gonna gather, and so then after I do that long stitch, I just pull at the back thread, one of the threads, and I just kind of gather it slowly. And you gotta make sure that it's all even. I'm gonna pull from the other side as well. And you just gather it evenly. A lot of times if it's a long piece of fabric that I'm gathering, I will half my fabric, like mark my half right here and my half of my fabric, so that way it'll be even. But I don't think I have to do that because it's not like I'm gathering a whole lot. I think I can figure it out. But if you wanted to, just be really precise. I know some people are really precise when it comes to wanting your gathers really, really precise. You might want to like half it before you gather it. Mark the half on here and the half on here, so that way you know this is half a gathers and this is half the gathers, and that might help if you want it really, really even. But it's not. I feel like it's not that many gathers, so I can just eyeball it. I'm just eyeballing it. You will find out that I eyeball a lot of things. I'll tell you how to do it, but I myself will eyeball it. I'm bad. Okay, so now that I've got it all gathered to the width of the, let me pull it down a little bit so you can see the difference right here. See, these are my two ends. Hope you can see this is my mat. So now I'm gonna go ahead and turn it, flip it, and we're going to pin it to the bottom. So pin it at the seams first, and we're putting it right sides together with the that middle piece. Okay, pin it at the seams first to make sure it's all even, and you're pinning it to both the outer and the liner. And now we're gonna go ahead and pin it. Now make sure that you're pinning it to both at the raw edge. You don't want to have a little piece hanging off. So you're gonna do, I use a lot of pins. Now for this step, some people, if you're funny about gathers, you can go ahead and baste it on first. Baste those gathers on, like do this part, baste it on, try it on, look at it, see if you like it, and then go ahead and serger or zigzag stitch it on. Because basting it on, which let me tell you, basting is, for those of you who are wondering, basting is just a long straight stitch. So the longest stitch that you have in your machine, so that way when you're done, if you say, okay, this looks good, I'm gonna go ahead and sew it on, and you sew it on, you afterwards can just pull that basting stitch right off, so it won't stay on there. You'll just pull it right off. It's easier to pull off. Then if you're doing a stretch stitch and then you're like, oh, I don't like this, then it takes forever to pull it off. Okay, does that make sense? I know some of you, I know I heard somebody said that they've been a seamstress for like 20 some years. That's awesome. I think it said 20 some years. But anyway, but I know that there are some beginner sewers too. So that's why I like to tell you about that stuff, because when I was a beginner sewer and I sew all those terms, now I'm going to the side and I'm just matching that evenly, so straight. Also to both the liner and the outer. The pieces that we did not gather, we're just gonna go straight, because when we sew it on, we're gonna go straight through. Anyway, so when I first started sewing, even the little things like basting stitch, all that stuff, I did not know what it was. So I had to research it. So that's why I like to tell you, give you some information, helpful information. If you don't know what it is, there is, that's how we learn, right? I remember hearing some of the terms and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I think that was the hardest part of learning how to sew for me, was memorizing, learning all the terms. And I still don't know all the terms. For the longest time, okay, this is funny. For the longest time, I don't know why, but the arm side, I called it an armsicle. I don't know why. And you know, the only reason why I figured out that it wasn't that is because somebody mentioned it on a post, like, oh, how do you say this word? And I'm like, and everybody's like, arm side or whatever. And I'm like, what? But there was a few people that called it armsicle like I did. I guess, I don't know. I was thinking about popsicles. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. What is something funny that you learned later on that you were either saying or doing wrong, totally wrong, and you were like, well, we learn from our mistakes. All right, we're almost done with this. So what we're gonna do now is sew it together, and that's it. And we're done for today. Today's just been a learning lesson. If anything, you learned about me. Probably didn't care. But there you go. I'm just sewing those together. At the raw edge. When I get to the gathers, you might want to be a little bit more careful that you catch everything. And that your machine doesn't try to feed it back through it. My machine does that sometimes and it's very annoying. It like doesn't cut it all the way and he tries to feed it right back into it. And it's like, now you have a bump. I don't want a bump on my feet. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. if it starts going in, back in. The first time I did it was the first time I sewed with, see, it's doing it now. Why does it do that? If you know why it does that, please tell me. It's really aggravating. Is it because my knife dull and it's just not cutting it all the way? Because there's this like strap of fabric that just goes through. The first time I did it, I was sewing swim, and it was my first time ever sewing swim. And I was like, what in the world? Okay, I'll show you. I'm doing it right here. Look, here it is. And let me, I don't want to cut it. I want to show you. So let me see if I can just. Okay, so like, see how in the actual serge strip, there's a piece of fabric in there. Because it like doesn't cut it all the way. So look, I'm like pulling it off. It's so annoying why it does that. I already pulled it off the edge. Okay. If you know why it does that, I guess maybe it's a dull blade. I don't know. And it's not cutting it all the way. Anyway, so it was swim, and it had, so then I ended up with like this thick piece of fabric in inside my seam. And I was like, what in the world? So I thought it was, I don't know if my swim dulled out my knife or what it is, but I tore it apart and I redid it, and it was so much better. But it was just annoying because I'm like, first time working with swim. I don't know anything about swim. Am I doing something wrong? But I don't think it was me. Maybe it was. Take responsibility for my actions. It's my serger's actions. Okay, so now as you see, we have a serger tail here. So you can either, you can use one of the tapestry needles, and actually they're all in my other tomato, which is out in the living room. And you will just hook it through and feed it through this, through your thread right here. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll fold it over my serger stitch. I'll fold it over to my serger edge, my serged edge right there. And then I'll use a zigzag stitch over that. Just on my serger, my serged area. It would help if my machine was threaded. Just through my serged area. Not on my actual shirt. Just where I serge. That's my iron, turned it off. Turn it on. But we're done. Sorry, this has been a longer video than usual because I've been talking a lot. So yeah, there it is. I hemmed it back in, and let me do the other one. And so tomorrow, how exciting, we do our sleeves and we are done. It's actually kind of bittersweet. It's like therapy for me. Oops, wrong foot. It's like therapeutic for me to like talk to you guys. I don't know. Like when I'm stressed out and we're sewing together, it just helps me to like release my stress of the day. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and steam it and pull that basting stitch off, and we're done for today. Like I said, we're almost done. It's like a sleeveless top. Let's see. It's almost like it matches. Ooh. Look at this. This is gonna be so pretty. Sorry. I don't have I gotta clip it. That's why you need a clip on this one so it doesn't fall down. Okay, I'll clip it later. But anyway, look at. Oh, I love it. Do you love yours? Try it on. Show it to me. Yay! Anyway, I can't wait to be finished. And tomorrow we're gonna work on sleeves, and that's it. It's bittersweet for me because I love sewing with you guys. But we're almost to the end. So I hope you've enjoyed this sew along, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to post the picture below, post yours below, and have a good rest of your day. Bye. Hi friends.
friends, is day number 5, and today marks our end of our Miami wrap top sew along. And it is always bittersweet for me because I love being finished with our garment, but I also, it's kind of like sad because we end this, you know, sew along together, and you guys go away and I go away, but then we always kind of come back and do the next sew along, so I can't wait. Let me tell you, this weekend, I know I've had a few people ask me what the next sew along is going to be, and I've had a couple people give me some options of what they'd like to see. So I am actually going to post a poll. So be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna post a poll on, I'm gonna put a couple of tops on there and see what you guys wanna do. So you can go ahead and take advantage of the poll. I'll leave it up for a little bit, and then we'll announce what the next sew along will be. So that's really exciting because I like to hear from you. I like to hear your inputs and everything like that. So that's why I'm excited about that. Now, today is our last day. So today we finish our sleeves. We do have 4 options of sleeves, so I'm kind of going to go over every option. I'm not going to show all the options, but I'm going to kind of tell you how they would be. And then also, you will have today and tomorrow to finish up. So if you got a little bit behind, that's okay. You have all day tomorrow, all day today, and all day tomorrow to catch up. And then Sunday morning, because usually I announce the winner at about 2 p.m. Eastern time, sometime around there. So you usually will have a little bit of time in the morning on Sunday morning as well. So now, if you are getting caught up, if you got behind, in order to qualify for a giveaway, you need to make sure you post under every day, okay? So even if you did 2 days worth of steps in one day, you still need to stop and take a picture and post it, and then stop and take a picture on the next day. That way I can see that you participated in all the steps. We are giving away 2 prizes this sew along. We're giving away 2 $50 Ellie and Mac gift certificates. So there'll be 2 winners, 2 random winners this time. So yay, more chances to win. And so we're gonna go ahead and finish up, and that's it. That's all there is. So I am doing, like I said, I am doing the extra flare sleeves. You know, I'm doing the option with all the bells and whistles. And so that's what I'm going over. But first, before we do that, we're gonna go over how to do the other options. So the first option will be to do our regular sleeve. A regular hem sleeve. So what we will do for a regular hem sleeve is the same. This is the same step for our hem sleeve and for our exaggerated bell sleeve. So we'll go ahead and grab our sleeve, and we're gonna fold it right sides together, and we're gonna sew along that raw edge. This is my sleeve. For the exaggerated bell sleeve that I'm making, you have the outer and you have a liner. For this sleeve, you don't have a liner. Just for the hem sleeve, it's just the actual sleeve. So here's this hem sleeve. So what you would do next for this sleeve is you would go ahead and attach it to the top. But let me go ahead and show you with the bell exaggerated sleeve. That way you can see both of them at the same time. If you're doing this one, you have the liner. You do the same thing to the liner. You hem the edge, and then you tuck that in. The liner is wrong side out. The outer is right side out, so that the wrong sides are touching. You want the wrong sides of them touching. And I'm going to pin the bottom and the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the half point at the top, what the top point is. You can go ahead right now if you want to. It's on the steps. You can baste these 2 sleeves together to give it more stability and to keep them from moving away from each other when you go to sew them. Your inner and liner, if you're doing the one with the liner. My scissors are so dull. I'm just cutting a little clip right here. That's how I like to notch where the top is right there. It's just so tiny that it'll get eaten when I sew it on. So yeah, you'd go ahead and baste these 2 together, and do the same thing for your sleeve hole. I already attached one. So for the sleeve hole, you can go ahead and baste these 2 liners together. That way, when you go to attach it, it doesn't move out of the way. So once that's basted on, this step goes for
the exaggerated bell sleeve or for the regular hemmed sleeve. We're gonna grab our sleeve and we're gonna attach it right sides together. So I'm doing see the bottom side, that's the right side, and the right side of the sleeve. So I'm touching them together at the raw edge. So here is the top. So I'm matching the top of the sleeve to the top of the shoulder seam. And here is the bottom of the sleeve right here, the bottom seam, and I'm attaching that to the bottom seam or my sleeve cap and my sleeve, so like the armpit area. And now I'm going to match up all the raw edges. And when they are basted together, it will be easy because they'll just come together at the raw edges. This is for the bell sleeve and for the regular hemmed sleeve, except for in the hem sleeve you will not have the liner on the sleeve. So on the hem sleeve it will be 3 layers of fabric. On the other sleeve is going to be 4 layers of fabric. If you're doing the peasant sleeve or the flounce sleeve, just bear with me a minute. And I'm going to tell you how you do the other 2. I'm not going to show you, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to tell you. And it's basically you put them on the same way right here, the cap, the bell sleeve and the flounce sleeve. I mean the flounce sleeve and the peasant sleeve, you will do the same thing too. You will attach them just like this. Now let me tell you the bell sleeve. So I mean the what do you call it? The flounce sleeve. What you will do with the flounce sleeve, now this is my bell sleeve, so it's obviously bigger than the flounce. And the bell sleeve, the bell sleeve, you'll have to attach them together. But the flounce sleeve already is cut in the double fold, so it will already be a circle. So you'll grab the bigger flounce and you put it face up on the board. And then you grab the smaller flounce, even though I'm doing it backwards because this is the bigger flounce. And you'll put it right on top, like so. The smaller flounce on top. Right side of the bigger flounce to the wrong side of the smaller flounce. And you grab them at the halves. You mark the halves. And you can quarter it if you want. So you put them together just like I did, just like I'm going to do the bell, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then you will attach it directly to the actual armhole. Instead of attaching it to the sleeve, we're going to attach it, these ones we're going to attach to the end of the sleeve, but the flounce you're attached straight to the armhole like I'm attaching the sleeve. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then the peasant one you will attach as well to this right here. So let me put this aside. I'm going to attach it in a minute, but let me show you what the peasant sleeve is like. Okay, so this is your pattern piece for your peasant sleeve, and I'm just going to show you right here. It's going to be cut on the fold, so you'll have 2 of these sides. You'll have 2 of the, like it'll go and then continue over here, okay? And so then from this line, you will mark this line to the line over here on your cap. I should have left one open so I could have showed you, but I didn't. So you'll mark those lines and you will gather from here all the way to the other side. And then you ask me, how much do I gather? You will, we were gonna sew up, first you put the gathering stitch, then you're gonna sew up the side of the sleeve just like we did on the other sleeve, half a sleeve. And then, so when you gather that up, you're gonna gather enough that it will fit into your arm. So all you have to do is gather enough that it will fit on the top and on the bottom, and it will fit exactly. So you're just gathering that top up. So it gives it a little bit of a flare look. And then before you do all that though, you gotta mark this line at the bottom of your sleeve. I wish I wouldn't have put it away at the other sleeve so I could show you. But you're gonna mark this line at the bottom, and at that line, you're gonna grab your, this is way too big. This is not the size, I just had it right there, so I figured I'd do it. And your elastic, you're gonna just zigzag it right onto that spot right there, or top stitch, or whatever, however you plan on doing it. Right to that line right there. It's where you would zigzag it. And then after you do, you sew it at the middle, you can go ahead and hem half an inch, fold up, hem your sleeve, and that's all you do with the peasant sleeve. Just you gather to attach it, you gather it, and you put it on here. I'm sorry, I didn't have a picture for it. If you are having troubles with it, let me know, post below, and then what I'll do is I'll do a little side video on it and just grab some scraps and make you a sleeve and show you how it's done. I should have shown you that before. but I hope that you can understand what I'm trying to say. But if you are getting stuck, please comment below and I'll do a little video on it. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach it. The peasant sleeve, like I said, would be gathered up here at the top before you attach it. So you would be attaching the gathers at the top. So now I'm making sure that I'm catching all 4 fabrics. Again, if you have, if you baste it on, then that will be a lot easier. I am a stubborn person and I didn't really baste it on because I'm just trying to show you. And you got to make sure that everything else is out of the way. All the other parts of your blouse. This is the last, pretty much the last step. And you don't want to get to the last step and then ruin your whole top. The worst. We're almost there. Alright, so if you're doing the regular sleeve, your sleeve is on and all you're going to do is fold it a 1/2 inch in and hem. And that's it. And you are done with your top if you're doing just a regular sleeve. Congratulations, you're done. If you're doing your peasant sleeve, again, if you already put the elastic on, also you're hemming and you're done as well. If you're doing the flounce sleeve, you attached it on just like we're going to attach the bell sleeve to this and you're done. That's it. If you're doing the exaggerated bell, here we go. So we've got on the flounce sleeve, you cut it on the double fold, so you'll have like a little circle. On this one though, you won't. You have 2 semicircles. So you gotta put one face up and one face down right on top of it. And we're going to sew those sides together. Now I did that already for both, for all of my sleeves, 3 on each side. Well, I did 3 on one side, 2 on the other, because obviously I'm doing this one right now. And then we're gonna hem. Sew together. After you sew together, you're going to hem it. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, this is what takes the longest out of making this top. Hemming all these. If you want, at times, I'm going to be honest with you, I will, if it's a knit fabric, sometimes I won't even hem it. So it really is up to you. If you wanted to leave the edge raw because you don't want to do all that hemming, go ahead. But it's a 1/2 inch up on the wrong side. How I do when I'm doing around the circle. So like, what is it called? Oh, my iron turned off. Hemming like around. I fold it, but then I like pull it a little bit so it can even out. There we go. 1/2 inch. On the curve. That's what it is. Curve. So as I'm steaming it, I'm just kind of tugging at it a little bit. So I'm hemming. Did you enjoy the sew along? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, we're almost there. See, I'm telling you, this is the part that takes the longest. So if you don't want to, like I said, sometimes I don't even hem my raw edges. So now I'm gonna go ahead and hem it on my cover stitch. You can do a stretch stitch. Whoop, I almost took my whole thing off with me. You can do a stretch stitch, double needle, no hem, all completely up to you. Stitch is worth its price? Yes, it is. Oh my goodness. It so much is. I saved for this thing for a little while and I'm so glad I did. It was worth it. It was so worth it. Alright. Okay, so there it is, all hemmed and ready to go. On the round, not very hard. Okay, so now I'm grabbing my biggest bell. Here it is. And I just did the same exact thing that I did to that one side, to the one little one I just showed you, but for the bigger ones. Then my middle bell, and now I'm kind of regretting that I hemmed with this color because it's like really bright on this red, on this burgundy. Oh well. Kind of matches the other color, we'll see. And then the smaller bell. So you're just putting them right on top of each other's right side up. Okay. So now what you want to do is I'm going to pin the two seams together for all three of them. And then I'm going to baste them together. Long stitch, baste them together. Look, that's going to look so cute. I did not have enough of the one fabric to do all of it. So I am a little bit sad because I did want to do them all the same color, but I think it'll look fine. I think it'll look good. I'm not too worried about it. And then I figured if I don't like it, then I will just leave the other kind of sleeve on. If it's too much for me, like too much color, because I'm not usually a lots of color type of person, then I will just tear this off and leave it just a regular sleeve. Another good thing about sewing for yourself is you can make those choices as you go. Okay, so here's my sleeve right here. Now this is how you're gonna attach it. This is how you will attach the flounce to the sleeve. So to the cap. You're just gonna grab it, you're gonna turn it wrong side out so that right sides are together with the sleeve. So this is the sleeve. We can pretend this is a sleeve cap for the flounce and it's right sides together. So the right side of the sleeve to the right side of the bells. Meet at the raw edges and meet at the two seams. Wait, there's no seam. So we're gonna find the seam. We're gonna find the other side. I'm just doing, going out from the one side and finding what that half would be. Going from here, folding it straight out, and here's my half. And then we'll put it right there. And now we're going to sew them together. And we are done. Not too bad, huh? Like I said, the hardest part will be hemming all that stuff. The hemming is what's going to take a little bit of time. Oh, I did that thing again that I did yesterday. Remember I told you? Where it pulls the fabric up. Alright. Here we go. Make sure you're trapping all of the fabric. Nothing more. You do not want to trap your other parts of your sleeve. And there it is. My sleeve is done. I'm going to show you the sleeve. Oh wow, that looks really good. Look at that. I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm going to leave it or if I'm just going to make it just a simple top. Because if I leave it, I'm not going to be able to wear this top until winter time. Why? Because it is hot outside. But if I take it off, you know what I might do? Actually, what I might do is I might take it off and not add the other one. Just take it off and leave it in my closet and wear it like a regular top. Just hem this and wear it like a regular top. And then come winter time, undo the hem, attach the sleeve again, and then it's like another different top for the winter time and fall and winter. Isn't that a good idea? I'm just full of good ideas. Thank you. Thank you. If you were listening and you thought that was a great idea, you're welcome. I meant to say you're welcome. I said thank you. Anyway, there it is. Oh, this is such a cool top. I hope you enjoyed this sew along. I hope you had fun with me. I hope you love your shirt. Please let me know what you think. Please let me know how it fits. I will go ahead and post a picture of my top. And that's it. Be on the lookout for the poll for the next sew along. Also, I will be picking our winner on Sunday afternoon. So I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.